Okay, this week we're going to be in arcade.makecode.com, and this is a platform very similar to the microbit platform that you've used before, and it's used for creating arcade games. So if you go arcade.makecode.com, you'll notice that there's a place for projects just like there is in the microbit. Then there's a whole bunch of tutorials. And I don't want to hear anyone ask the question, what do I do when I've finished? Because, you know, here you've got a site filled with tutorials and you can learn so much. But what I'd like for this week for you to do, this is task 21, is just go down to the game design concepts. So these are little tutorials which teach you kind of basic skills. And we'll be building a game from the ground up. So you're going down to Walking Hero, and you just click on that, and you should see a little thing which says Start Tutorial. And the interface will actually take you through the steps. So you just read what's on the screen and you click OK. Now, this should work on an iPad, but if at all possible, please use a laptop. Everything just works so much better. I have tested this out on an Android phone, and it was kind of almost impossible. I could just about do it, but it was almost impossible. So I wouldn't advise doing it on a phone, but a tablet should be okay. So sprites can be used to represent the characters in your games. So a sprite is something which does something in a game. It could be the player avatar, it could be an enemy, or it could be an object that you're picking up. So I'm just going to click OK, and you'll notice it kind of walks you through exactly what you have to do. So nothing could be easier. Find Set My Sprite in Sprites and drag onto Start. The sprite will represent the main character in the game. For now, it has no image and doesn't do anything. Okay, so if we just, we've got the on Start here, you just click on Sprites, and you've got a little option, Set My Sprite to. So I'm going to drag that on. So I'm setting my sprite in Sprites, dragging it into the Start event. So when you load up the device, the game will start, and we're ready to go to the next on the tutorial. Click on the gray box in Set My Sprite to open the image editor. Okay, so in other words, it's this box here. We're setting the sprite, we're clicking on there, and then you can create your own image. There is also a gallery, and you can go and select an image, but I would consider that cheating. Please create your own for the purpose of this tutorial. So I might put a face, and then what an awful color scheme. And then maybe they're wearing a cloak. And just undo that. Ooh, to undo, we need the eraser. So then they've got a pair of arms and legs and feet. This is possibly the worst sprite you've ever seen. I better have a bit more of a face. Hey? The worst sprite in the world. But just to show you that you don't have to be an expert. And then bottom right hand corner there's a done button, so I'm just going to click done, and you'll notice there's your character. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. The next thing you need to do is just move my sprite with buttons controller. So I've got to find that block, move my sprite with the buttons controller. And that's under control. So I click on controller here, and I just drag that underneath. So what that does, if you look in the little emulator here, is it allows you to move using the controller. So you can move your sprite around the screen. And that's all you need for this introductory tutorial. If you want to work ahead, please do so. And you'll notice there's a little download button here. So let me just go next, next, next. just says finish, and then it leaves the tutorial, and it gives me a chance to save my project. So I'm just going to put my name in there, and I click Publish Project, and it gives me a little code which I can then copy. Okay, or I can go down to the bottom here and just click the Save icon. And when it does that, what it does is it create in your taskbar, so to your Downloads folder, it sends a little PNG, Portable Net Graphic image. Okay, so I've got it. They're downloaded on my taskbar. So I'm just going to go home and show you how that works. You can then go to your taskbar and just drag the image onto your arcade Makecode and just drop it, and it loads the project. So that's how you would start a project again. And obviously that file that's in your download folder, you can upload as task 21.